for this, born to write, born to speak up, born to fight, born to dream in the dead of night. The gifted bipolar writer shining so bright. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Embracing the chaos, finding the light. Breaking the chains, taking flight. Riding the waves with all our might. Writing our story in black and white. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Through the highs and lows, we find our way. In the darkest moments, we still find day. The pen in our hand, the power we hold. The story unfolds as we break the mold. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Through the highs and lows, we find our way. In the darkest moments, we still find day. The pen in our hand, the power we hold. The story unfolds as we break the mold.
What kind of love can transcend time in a breath and feel as fresh as the sun's morning dew? A love that lives forever in between the spaces of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, all at once and forever. Safe among the folds of warm inspiration and obsessive lightness, swim through eons of time, one with wings, the other with vision of a place in space where life is honored and entwined together. connect forever when achieving eRada. Soft space for Lee and Van, star-crossed lovers. A love built on love, of life over time and forever. Souls connect forever when achieving eRada. The soft space for Lee and Van, star-crossed lovers. A love built on love, of life over time and forever.
It's Saturday night, broadcasting from lively New York. Pull everyone in and hold on tight. Never in control, hosted by Nick, strengthen letting it go. Shaking the world's cage apart, this rising heart at peak crescendo. It's time to prep the stage and fire up those lights. This evening, two delightful women are dressed to the nines to light up the night. So come on in, grab popcorn, then please take your seat. Tonight we are gifted with Leslie Flowers, who will enchant our ears as she reads. Boost the roof, it's Saturday night, broadcasting from lively New York. Pull everyone in and hold on tight. Never in control, hosted by Nick, strengthen letting it go. Rising hard at peak crescendo. So get comfy as we explore eRada, an epic tale of magic and sweets, a young woman's new discovery, and how true love can show no defeat. A bedazzling journey as each page unfolds, the power of divine virtues, a starlit sky with wonders to behold. Boost the roof, it's Saturday night, broadcasting from lively New York. Pull everyone in and hold on tight. Never in control, hosted by Nick, strengthen letting it go. Shaking the world's cage apart, this rising heart at peak crescendo.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Nick Never in Control. Boy, do we have a fantastic show ahead. It's a little bit different than what you're used to seeing, I will say that. So I want to welcome my friends that are popping in and new faces as well. Claudia, it's so great to see you. I'm so glad you could join for a few minutes. Kinga, hello, how are you? Ashif, I saw you out there in the audience. Thank you so much for coming and to support Leslie as well. Adrian and Christy. Willie, I saw you a little earlier, my bro. I'm so glad to be with you guys tonight. It is cold and windy and rainy in New York. It sucks. So in the comments, tell us where you're tuning in from and what the weather is like there. So you could just make Nick annoyed. I'm just kidding. Just making me a little bit jealous. Um, you know, I am thrilled to have Leslie Flowers on again. This is the second time in a different scope. Leslie and I have become very fast friends. We chat often, and it never ceases to amaze me just how far this woman's imagination can go. She, I when I think that if I had to sit down and write a fictional book with minimum half a dozen characters, how would I put personalities to all of this? How would I mean, even begin to figure out how they would interact in some sort of a storyline, right? It's very different when you are writing when you're writing your own story. You know your own story in your head, right? All you have to think about at that point in time is how you're going to share the story, perhaps in what order, or what are the best words to describe your feelings. What happens now when you are coming up with a whole new idea, a whole new concept, has nothing to do with who you are. But in this case, it did have something to do with who Leslie was. But not the Leslie in flesh and blood. How do you even begin to figure that out? Yes, Sean, I agree with you. Who doesn't love Leslie? She is amazing. And Tracy, hello, hello. You're still in Houston, a little rainy, warmer. That's good. I gotta tell you, it's cold here in New York. So before we move on with the show, I will share a little bit about what's going on with me. As you know, we do this show every 2 weeks, and the rate at which my life is going, a lot happens. So starting next week, we're going to be doing a new series called The Person Behind the Pen. Super excited for this, and this is an opportunity for the 62 co-authors who have published with me to come on and do a live reading of their chapter in the anthology they participated in. People in the audience can ask questions, and it actually would be a great opportunity for people who have considered writing, or maybe even want to share a story but never considered themselves a writer. It will allow you to speak to people who have not published before. This was their first time, and what their experience was like. So what else is going on? Let's see. I did have to write some notes. I'm a little bit tired. I'm sure you guys have been seeing all the videos. I have been playing round the clock nurse to my four-legged furry son, Pokey. Nights are a little bit sleepless right now. And I'm running a company that I just started. So what else is going on? Our Bipolar Brilliance, that is also going on. That is an ongoing program for people with bipolar and their support partners. We're accepting signups right now, and this is going to be a weekly supportive group, yes, but more of a meeting of the minds. And I do encourage you, if you know someone who is bipolar, someone that is supporting someone that's bipolar, that perhaps needs someone to speak with, this is a perfect opportunity for them. All right, so moving on. Big thank you to my executive remote producer, Aaron Gibson. Without Aaron, this would not be happening. A lot of what comes down the pike with me would not be as pretty. It'll be there, but kind of raw and not all that pretty, just saying. So, and plus, of course, he cracks me up because he's like, yes, that's you gotta fix your face for the show. Okay. Oh, goodness. Yes, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate that. I do see somebody named Shay Key in the audience as well. Welcome. I don't believe I've seen you before. Yes, I do love the idea of authors themselves reading their work. It takes on a very different meaning, right? When you read an author's work, you are going to align it based on your experiences. When that person can come on and read it in their voice, in their way, and intonate what it is they are feeling or were feeling when they wrote that chapter, and can now turn around and discuss it with you, it gives you a lot of insight, a lot of nuances. So, all right, so 10 past the hour, we have a full show, and I want to make sure that I stay on track. That being said, I'm going to ask Aaron to please bring up our guest, Leslie Flowers. Hello, hello. How are you? You're muted.
Of course I am. I'm speaking.
That was cute. I knew you said, "Of course I am," and I could totally pick it up from the just the. Gosh, I can't even think of what I'm trying to say. When you can read someone's lips, of course I am. It just happens to so many people, right? And that's the first thing out to them out.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh, welcome. And
Thank you.
it's been so much fun this last year, like just getting closer to you, spending time with you. And now I have this beautiful opportunity to work with you on promoting the audiobook for eRada, and in future the coming of part 2 of eRada. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when the support goes back and forth in a very genuine way. I'm starting a company as well, and even though I'm known out there for the last 2 years as the gifted bipolar writer and publishing, I am now my company, and so that also takes on a different meaning. And I appreciate you so much giving me this opportunity to represent you, because you're someone who's been a part of the LinkedIn network for a while now, and you are very well known around the circuit for things other than authorship. So I just want you to know that inviting me on, for example, to co-host Mind Over Matter Mondays was yet another opportunity to help get me out there and get my company out there. I greatly appreciate it, but I know that you know that already. So before we dive right in terms of a matter of appreciation, and as I said, I know Leslie well, and as such, I've gotten a wonderful opportunity to meet some of her family. E-meet, mind you, as she has met mine, and she's Auntie Leslie to Pokey-san. I know she is. So I reached out to a young lady, a lovely young lady. She is aspiring to so many things. She's driven, warm, genuine, kind. And I know these things about her, and I know so much of who she is. She emulates you in many ways.
Thank you.
So, are you curious who that might be?
Yeah. Who emulates me? Someone on LinkedIn?
No, I am not going to give it away. I am going to bring her up, and I'm going to let the audience see for themselves just who this young lady is.
Okay.
I think it's great that my Nana's a writer. I love listening to her share stories, and her imagination always surprises me. eRada was so fun to read, and of course I had to get the audiobook too. A couple of my friends came over when I was listening to it actually, and when I told them it was my Nana, I could see the shock on their faces. It was hilarious. So of course I told them to get it too, because why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Sydney. That is Leslie's granddaughter. I thought that it would be such a special treat to get one of her family members to send us in a video testimonial of what they thought of Leslie's work, and in particular her work with eRada, a piece of fiction that is so beautifully described and narrated by her in the audiobook. I can't wait for part 2 to come out. And I know that Sydney is very, very proud of her Uber Nana.
Yeah.
The Uber Nana is not Uber Nana anymore because she's quite grown and can drive herself these days. But it does not mean that she is not continued to be driven by her grandmother's storytelling. So I hope you enjoyed that. We have a
I
few more
did.
surprises coming down the pipe for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a minute though to acknowledge Sharon, and I believe that I saw Lisa, Trini in the house. Torito, thank you so much. I know it's probably morning where you are right now. Sean Michael, I did see your lovely comment before, and yes, we do love Leslie. Claudia, you are right. That was very sweet, right? I mean, who wouldn't want their family member up there? I have a sister like that who does it for me, and I know what it feels like, how amazing it is, because so many of us do what we do when we ply our trades and our love, and our family often is not a part of it. That's the truth. Our family are part of it, our family here virtually, right? So, Jenilyn, I do see you. Thank you so much for being here. And I do have two more shout outs while I'm at it before we have Leslie speak. One would be Jenilyn, and that has to do with her show Polish. The other is Jason Forhan from HR for You. Both of these live show producers have been amazing friends to myself and supporters of Guiding Brilliant Writers. They have featured the co-authors and authors that have published with me. They're giving myself a chance and they're giving the authors a chance as well. Leslie is going to be on Polished with Jen Lynn on the 11th, and she was recently recorded as well with Jason at HR for You, and that's going to drop sometime soon, and we will let you know about that. All right, Leslie. I need a sip of water, and I know you can totally carry this. Um, say hello. I know everybody wants to say hello to you. I have a couple of questions, but by all means, jump right in. Say hello. Say good evening.
Hi, everybody. So glad to be here and so excited to have Nick. We're doing this 3 week soft launch so that people will get the audio book. Sometimes you'd rather listen, like Nick cooks and listens, right? And, I drive and listen. Hey, Omar, so glad you're here. And all of you, thank you. It's interesting that when you brought my granddaughter, I love that she did that. They don't know me the way you know me, right? My four grandchildren are all driving now, but when they were little and they have all sorts of different places, they're all going in different directions with voice and music and theater and gymnastics and dance and baseball. And oh my God, so many of these things. I was Uber Nana because whenever they needed a ride, and someone always did with four of them, and at Nana's house, we had big meals, and Nana always spoiled them with sodas, which their parents won't let them have. So it's really kind of out of context, and I'm so honored that you did that, Nick. Um, Sydney is very accomplished, like all my grandchildren are, and I'm so happy for them to have so many different developing skills at 16 and 17 and 19, so that they have lots of options. And their parents have been very good about making sure that they stayed with whatever they were doing, music, dance, whatever it is. And they did, and gymnastics. So thank you for doing that, Nick. And I'm just excited to be here and resurrect this. This is all fun now. And we're just having a good time.
Now, I like how you said now, and it's cute because it is fun authoring, but it can become stressful and hectic and overwhelming and all of those things. And this book, eRada, is something that's been in the making for Leslie for a long time. This is not something she just, pulled out of thin air and 6 months later decided she was going to publish a book. I can only imagine when you reach the end line what it must feel like, that adrenaline rush and then the aftermath of it all. So I have to stop and I have to say hello to Sarah Ganella and Omar. And there was one other person. Oh, Tony, my brother from Australia. So it's the next day there as well. And I want to say hello because all of you are making an effort to come here tonight. It is a Saturday night. It is date night. It is, go to sleep night. And it's the next morning as well. And it means so much because it shows that you genuinely care. And as a creative and as Leslie being a creative, it means a lot, especially in these times, you know, of everything AI. It is a celebration of people who are still wanting to really dig deep down inside and bring up the beauty of what's there. Um, and oftentimes finding the words to express that is not easy. And Leslie is very good at being able to express that. And Stephen A., my bro, I see you. You know it's cold and raining out here in New York because you're in New York too. So, Leslie,
Yes.
I'm going to read the blurb at the back of your book.
Okay.
And then I would like to ask you to do a reading of a section of the book for us.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions for you just after that. So it will help if I have my book. My book was here. My puppy ate my book. Oh, here's my book. I'm just kidding. It's under my notes. So this here, ladies and gentlemen, is eRada, the possibility of eRada. This is available in ebook as well as paperback on Amazon, and it is now available in audio as well. And it is narrated by Leslie herself. So it is quite a treat to have the author herself reading you this story. Okay. There is no power greater than love. Imagine, what if there was a world beyond what we can see? What if our dreams were not just dreams? What if there is a place where we can live and love in peace and harmony? What if a science fiction romance wasn't fiction? Get ready to lose yourself with Lee and Van in a romantic adventure that up to now was just a fantasy. You will discover love has no boundaries. Explore the complexities of connections that span across galaxies and the heartwarming reminder of the power of love. Leslie Flowers has been blazing trails for the business leaders for decades, leveraging the laws of achievement and timeless success principles. Already an acclaimed writer, her new book invites you to explore what could be. With a passion for exploring the human condition and the mysteries of the universe, Leslie invites you to come along on this interstellar journey that will stay with you long after you finish the last page. And I will tell you, and we all know it, the climate that we live in now, there is no greater power than love. And it is one that we desperately need to hold on to and desperately need to remember that we have that power of connectivity within us. And when I turned the last page, I was pissed. I'm like, where's the rest of the story? So, Leslie.
Yeah.
Leslie. For anyone who has purchased and read the book, we're encouraging you to go grab the audio. You ever see that movie you have to watch 10 times? I have quite a few. You ever have that book that you have to read a few times? I have those too. And you get to take it on in a very different light when you hear it read to you. So I'm going to ask you to read an excerpt from the book.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yes?
I'll do
Awesome.
it.
And just,
And can I give you a little background on the book?
I was just going to say, you might need to give us a little background being where you're picking up from. So please do, all yours.
Sure. Little background on this book. It started 25 years ago When my heart was broken and I decided to open a chocolate company in the mountains of North Carolina, you wonder, well, what does that have to do with this? A lot. So as I drove up 4 hours to Asheville and back every weekend to operate the chocolate company, the business side, I was bored and I began to visualize. But I was in love at that moment. I had a broken heart, but I was in love. And I've discovered over 25 years that the vibration and the feeling of love really gets your creativity, your imagination, your juices going. So as I drove this straight trip back and forth every weekend for months, I began to visualize this different world based on virtues, values, and love. And of course, I was in love. So it's easier to do when you're in love because I was there with the person I was in love with. Now, I never wrote any of the story, but what I did do, just so you know, is it's about another planet, right? Other than here. And I liken it to the fifth dimension because it's all very positive thoughts with kindness and love that we aspire to live that way. It's not perfect, but that's where we'd like to be. So 25 years ago, I had the outline. Each week I would write, this was the topography. How did the planet begin at all? How did this whole thing came about? What is eRada? Who lives there? All sorts of things. So that is all I had 25 years ago, was sort of the infrastructure of this world. But so often when we carve out a goal that's bigger than we ever thought it could be, it doesn't always come true right away. And I wasn't ready to write the book until 22, 23 years later. And when I wrote it, there was no excitement at the end because I set up a challenge for myself to write one episode a week. And in 1 quarter, I had it written. But remember, I had the whole basis. But now I'm ready to give you the story. So on this planet, eRada, it's all about love and kindness, but there is a little bit of the negative. But this is about the everyday life. This is what Nick has asked me to read. Now, there are 12 episodes, and they cover all sorts of things. The origination of the planet, who inhabited it, how do they generate income, and this is what life is like on eRada. And this is episode 9, halfway through episode 9, which is the everyday life on eRada. Okay, so I'm going to read this for you. eRada's female emissary, Jaya Lee, Jaya for short, was the daughter of her mother's generosity and her father's sense of unity. She lived with her brother and parents near the upper crust of eRada. Their home was built into a hill where the beds of magic truffles served as their roof and maintained a gentle coolness within. With 4 hours of night and 3 suns, it was the perfect scenario for inhabitants. The openings to the outside of the hill were 3 small windows and a door. Other than those 4 places, a passerby would never realize there was a home there if they didn't notice the openings. Inside, in the far right corner, as one enters, sits a very large white stone fireplace with an opening for wood log storage. The fireplace was 6 feet in diameter with a wrought iron arm from one side to the other for hanging pots of stock, broth, and hot water for cooking, and to keep the main room warm. Next to the fireplace in the back of the room was a small pantry, and next to that was an open cabinet where the family dishes were kept. Across from the fireplace was a single bed offered to the occasional traveler, and there is a narrow staircase leading to an upstairs further inside the hill. The upstairs had one large room with 2 large beds where the family slept. A table and 4 chairs sat in the center of the large room, with 2 ladder-backed chairs handmade by Jaya's father and a small woven rug. The floor was laid with wide, long planks of cedar, which grew naturally on eRada and had their home always fragrant with cedar and warm smoke as it was absorbed into the wood. Her mother had a modest garden about 50 feet away from the house, filled with flowers, fruits, and vegetables that adored and thrived under the long, long days of warm sun. She cultivated year-round oranges and a berry something like a strawberry, as the girl knew it, along with corn, spinach, and tomatoes. Hunting for game on eRada was restricted and organized to give each family ample food all year round. There are vast forests in addition to the truffle beds, and the environmental balance was overseen by eRada's chosen male's emissary, Stuvan. You will meet Stuvan in another episode. Jaya's brother Adi was half her age when a great turbulence occurred within the center of eRada, causing critical weather implications. The livelihood of eRada depended on the consistent nature of the climate. Any disturbance could affect the crops and thereby their livelihood. And above all, the distribution of magic truffles in every corner of the known world, which was their primary focus. You want me to go on? No. Okay, I've had enough. Okay. You've had enough.
I know, and I'm sitting here enthralled with the story, pulling back up all the memories and the moments that I was listening to it. And I'm going, okay, well, I guess we're on a live show. But that is just a bit for you.
Yes.
I'm a person that enjoys reading, but I believe that I do because I have quite an imagination. I love being able to visualize every little crook and cranny in what I'm reading about. For example, I could see that room. I could feel the cedar planks under my feet. I can smell the cedar. I could feel the damp coolness because the truffles are on the roof above. And these are the stories that get under my skin. These are the stories where I've left the place and the moment that I'm sitting in and I've gone somewhere else. And that is why I enjoyed it so very much. And why I'm here going, listen, you got to get this book. So you really do got to get this book. There was a beautiful comment that Stephen Eng put up, the author whisperer. Stephen and I often text each other because he's the author whisperer and has so much knowledge working in a library and serving patrons. And I love to get into the nitty-gritty talks with him sometimes about authorship or publishing and executive remote producer. I'm so sorry, but could you throw the comment up now? I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to read this because I think this is very, very important.
Oh, Stevens.
Stephen's comment, yes.
There we go.
Audiobooks are cinematic productions without the visual. You can hire actors or actresses if you feel they can adequately narrate on your behalf, but it's special if you're willing to narrate the book using your own voice. And I could not agree more with that. Thank you so much, Leslie. And that's a big reason why we're going to be doing the person behind the pen, because I think it is important for the person who wrote the story to be the one to read the story. And Leslie is going to be joining us as well, because Leslie has written in 2 anthologies with the gifted bipolar writer. Oh, wait, that's me. And she'll come on and she'll read hers. So I have 2 quick questions for you.
Sure.
One, how is Jaya Lee related to Lee, and how is Stuvan related to Van? Or are they, or aren't they?
They're the same person.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
they're the
if
same. And
you,
go ahead.
that's exactly what I wanted to hear, and exactly why, another reason why I was engrossed in the book, right? It is very hard for writers to be in past and present as it is within just the confines of our own life, right? If I wrote that, well, when I worked at compared to now I'm working here, and if I don't carry that back and forth, right, I'm going to lose you. Now imagine doing this across the span of galaxies, okay, and across the span of centuries, and trying to keep it tied in and keep each within their space of their surroundings. It is not easy. It is
One
not
thing
easy at all.
one thing I wanted to share with the writers in the audience, and I don't know if this is fair to give it away, but I will tell you that I've been writing descriptive and narrative work in different genres since I was 17. The way that I was able to write the piece about the homes and how you were able to step inside the home, you could picture the staircase going up deeper into the hill where the family slept. The way I did that, I first of all did a lot of studying about Vikings. And so what I did was found pictures of Viking homes 865 AD, which is when all this began. And you'll find that in book 2. So all I did was describe the pictures. And I'm getting ready to, I've got to get some water, so I'm going on mute.
No, but thank you for explaining that as well. And I know that the show is going pretty deep here into writing and the vision and the psychology and everything behind it. But as somebody that's very passionate herself about storytelling, for me, this is where I want to be able to take this. I want this more to be more than just a publication for people, more than an opportunity to put under their title, I'm a published co-author, more than an opportunity to put $5 in your pocket. That is not what Guiding Brilliant Writers is about. Guiding Brilliant Writers is about a love for a dying craft and preserving it, and preserving the beauty of what is in each of our souls uniquely and can only be told in our own voice, our own minds, our own hearts. And I will take the time with every single writer that comes on my shows to delve into what is so important to them, that they would put their vulnerability and their mind and their heart out there for the world to see. And that is what Leslie has done in this book, and so many more that have written with me. So, dearest executive report producer, I think we've gone pretty deep. I think it would be a lovely time now to throw up a little, perhaps entertainment, and perhaps right after that, you might want to follow up with a testimonial. I know there was a lovely lady. I can't remember where she was from.
Jasmine.
Yes, that was her name.
Jasmine. Yeah,
Thank you
of
so
course.
much.
Yeah.
That said she would have very much liked to share a testimonial with us. So we have that. I don't know. Let's see if executive remote producer has anything in store for us.
But wait, I gotta share one thing about your executive remote producer, because Aaron Gibson was my real producer during the audiobook, and you notice that he put up a comment 3, 2, 1. There it is. So look, whatever they pay people who read audiobooks, it's not enough. I mean, when you go to you read your own book, if that's not your business, it is intense.
Can you
It's
imagine?
oh, huh? What?
I would think that it's akin to having to act. I
Well,
mean,
it, you first of all, you have to be only so far from the microphone, and then your voice has to be remain constant. And this book took 5 hours to record, and Aaron did the producing. And so what he would do is, if my voice sounded funny, or when you talk that long, anybody's voice gets raspy. So he
yes.
would say, stop, And, I get a drink of water or get up or walk around, whatever it is. And then he'd go 3, 2, 1, start. Now, by doing it that way, it made it really easy for the person who finished it up, Joe Woolworth, and did all the editing, because he knew as soon as he heard the word stop that it was going to begin again in a minute and he could erase that bit. So that's when you have Aaron doing that. But I'm telling you, it was the most intense 5 hours that I've spent, other than having a baby. That was pretty right, because you can't stop. You can't split it into 2 days because you don't sound the same. So anyway, that's just a little fun stuff from behind the scenes.
And Kinga is right. We do have deeply passionate people in here. And those are the people that I am surrounded by all the time. I'm not sure who's joining us. Hi from UK, but thank you very, very much for being here. And it is a labor of love. And you do have to have that patience. You do have to have that perseverance. And you have to have that meticulousness to want to get it just right when you are investing yourself like that. And if anybody has had the pleasure of working with Aaron, they know the product at the end is going to exceed their expectations. But it will not be without the requirement of absolute dedication and attention to detail. That is how we work, and that is how we roll, and we don't rush things. We take
and it's fair to say here, which you probably wouldn't say yourself, Nick, but she's also expanded Guiding Brilliant Writers to include an audiobook arm of her business. And I will tell you, you can read an anthology, if you're the author, like Nick could read it herself, or she could get someone else to read it. If you've written your own book, you can do that. And if you only wanted to read your chapter, right, you can do that. So I like what Stephen said about the production, the experience of the audiobook. Honestly, I hadn't listened to the audiobook until a couple of weeks after it published.
He just put up a really nice comment too. Audiobooks are physically strenuous to produce. You need a trustworthy team to prep and make it as smooth as possible. So because Leslie had done this and has experience in doing it, and we are so close, she always knew that as a turnkey publishing company, which is what my vision is. I worked over time with other people who have gone off and paid somebody to produce a book cover, paid somebody to proofread and edit their work, paid somebody to publish it, paid somebody to promote it. And oftentimes, writers themselves do not need the added stress of running around and trying to manage a project on top of trying to produce a brilliant story from their brilliant mind and their heart. So this is what the publishing company is about. It's about you being able to come and say, this is my vision. I have one job, and that is to write the story. And our job is to take care of the rest of everything for you, right? So it was, I guess, natural that the next step would have been the audio book version. And yes, needless to say, we do have such experienced readers now as Leslie and the person backstage there that has quite a distinct male voice that might consider being hired for audiobook reading, maybe. But anyway, we have chatted and chatted and chatted, and I have to let Aaron now throw up some of his awesome work. We've highlighted Leslie's beautiful work. We've spoken a little bit about the publishing company and what Nick's trying to accomplish here for everyone. And with that, Aaron, let's get some fun rolling.
Did you see Chirito's question?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. She wants to know who this person is. That's the man I was in love with 25 years ago.
Oh, excuse me. Wow. Chirito, you have some little tips there.
It's in the front of the book. I mean, it's part of the dedication. So I sent her a copy in the Philippines because she couldn't get it.
I'm glad that you did. All right.
All right. Sorry.
Let's have some fun, folks.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jasmine Ofori, founder of Jew Digital, and I want to bring your attention to this lovely book by Leslie Flowers. It's called The Possibility of eRada, and the storyline is to die for. She's such a great storyteller. I mean, as I was reading the book, my imagination went to places that it hasn't been for a while. So, yeah, Possibility of eRada is an amazing book. I love the story behind it. Van and Lee's love adventure. I think it's beautiful. Yes, and so I want to bring it to your attention. If you haven't grabbed a copy of this book, please grab it now and let me know what you think of it. It's an amazing book. And kudos to you, Leslie Flowers, for, creating such a beautiful book. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful.
I know. You see,
Beautiful.
this is how we roll. Never in control. No, never in control means that we know how to let go control, to take back control. And letting go control means organic, authentic, allowing readers the opportunity to get a snapshot into what a book is about, enough to intrigue them to purchase the book, but the book itself has to grab them, envelop them, wrap them in it, and want them to go and tell other people about it. And that is what these testimonials are. They
Thank
were sought from people who genuinely loved the book. You can tell people. You can tell when something's scripted. You can tell when it's just pure marketing and advertisement. You can tell when somebody's giving you shit just to get you to buy something. I'm sorry, I will say it like it is.
Yeah.
Nick has never been that girl, will never be that girl. If you want to buy a book to support me, I love it. You know what? You're actually doing me justice and honor by actually reading it than if you were to buy it and stick it on a bookshelf. It may take a lifetime to read, I get it, but it's my heart on the pages. And that's the thing with anybody writing a story, right? I think we live in a time that is so hard for writers. There was a time when writing was a gift. It was a gift you were born with, a gift that you were touched with, a gift that, and I have nothing against AI in this terms of it as a tool, and it has so very many uses. But in a creative space, I don't want to lose the very human side of touching another human being with your words, with your own words and your own heart. And I hope that that rings true with the publishing company. And, I am the publishing company. What am I talking about? As you see me, I'm real. That's it. And that's the kind of stories I want to publish. If somebody comes to me with a manuscript and it does not align, I will not publish you. I don't care if you give me $50,000. I will not publish 5 words of it. So, yep, sharing a lot about Nick and the core values of the company in between Leslie's night. I'm sorry. Executive remote producer, you have anything else you want to throw out there with us? Or should we...
Oh, here comes another one.
I recently enjoyed the audiobook eRada by Leslie Flowers during my business trip to Phoenix. It was an absolutely delightful experience. Listening to this story while waiting at the airport turned an otherwise dull moment into a captivating adventure. Leslie's narration created a beautiful, magical world with every word. Right now, I am here finishing the audiobook while waiting for my son's soccer game to wrap up. I am still mesmerized by the story. The plot is filled with wonder and excitement. It is no surprise if this enchanting tale will easily become a Disney movie. If you are looking for a fantastic way to pass the time, I highly recommend this audiobook. It is a perfect escape that will leave you wanting for more. Awesome job, Leslie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Indeed. Awesome job. We rolled out the red carpet because tonight you are the queen of eRada.
Oh,
And once again, on behalf of Aaron, myself, I could say this on his behalf, I know. Um, we both appreciate you having come into our lives. We've enjoyed our friendships and working with you tremendously.
thank you.
We know how you feel about us, and we want you to know that is reflected every day, not in just your words, but in your actions. Aaron and I have been brother and sister for a while. We're very, very close. Aaron sees me when I've just rolled out of bed, right? Or, before I even have my coffee and brush my teeth. Um, he knows when some things are misses me. That is the depth of our friendship. And having you become a part of everything that we're doing and moving forward with, and feeling your support, it means the world. I know it means the world to me. I know it means the world to him. We feel your presence, and we want you to know that.
Thank you.
So we're going to start wrapping up now. And if there's anything else that you would like to share, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Well, you heard the song in the beginning, so I want to tell you that one day Aaron said, when the audiobook came out, he said, write me a song about eRada. Right. And he's really having a great time with AI music. And in case you haven't noticed, writing at least 30 songs in the last 6 weeks.
I know. So I know he has some.
Right. So I'm watching the news with my notepad, and I said, all right, I'll do it. And in the moment, because there was no pressure, it was just write a song about eRada. And I knew that Lee and Van, Jaya and Stuvan, they are star-crossed lovers. And in book 2, by the way, there's a lot more things going on than in the first book. But they needed a soft place to fall, a safe place where they could live their lives with virtue and value and love one another. And that's what really inspired the song. It's all about overcoming all odds and reaching a state of eRada, which is a mindset, if you will, of eRada. And very quickly, let me tell you about the word eRada. It means a lot of different things in different languages, but there were several years, maybe 2003 through 6, where I spent a lot of time with friends in a Hare Krishna community, learning about Krishna consciousness. And Krishna is the symbol, the male symbol of God, and Radharani is the female counterpart. And I took on the nickname Radha for Radharani. And that's where the word eRada came from. So over those 23 years, I had gone through so much training and so many different experiences that all worked together for me to get a really good handle on why people love to live by virtues and why society has lived by virtues, values, and love for so long. And it's very simple because it makes you feel good. And that's what eRada is all about. So thank you for letting me share that, Nick. And thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and I am like, I'm just gonna punch a new rod and see what happens. I'm one of those person that I don't know. Like I like signs. I believe in signs. I believe in juju, however you want to say it, right? 'Cause it's just I've experienced too much of it in my life, and I don't believe in coincidence. So I pulled it up just for the heck of it, and I love that it said this. The first thing it came up saying is eRada Svel Svetlana. So I guess it's a quote maybe by somebody with that name or close to that name, and it says, and I love it: if it's both terrifying and amazing, then you should definitely pursue it. Oh my god, I love it!
Wow.
I love it. And yes, go
Yeah.
look it up. People are not lying. It's right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nick doesn't lie. Nick's like too crazy and too like, oh, Nick. All right. It's been so much fun.
Thank
I'm
you.
tired. I'm always tired. It's like old woman is like
We
hot
can
night.
now we can end early, and this has really been off the cuff. Thank you, and Aaron also. It looks like this was very easy to do, but you have to know that production in the back really takes something to have a flat production, which is one without any interruptions. Right. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Oh, Van savored the chocolate. It's when you bite down into it and the inside oozes down your
I know.
throat.
And I love that there were different types of chocolate and a bit of
Oh,
a
yeah.
description of the dustings on them and that she would slip one into her pocket. Anyway, I'm not giving away. Go buy the book. So I will tell you this, that if you want to work with a publishing company, even if you don't publish with us because you already have a published book, we are here to help you promote your book. As you can see from tonight's show, we are taking promoting in a very unique way. We're taking in a very different direction. This is not throwing things at you. This is opening up the book to you so you can decide whether or not you want to go purchase it. I do not believe in hard sales. I believe if it's for you, the book will find itself to you. That being said, Guiding Brilliant Writers is going to give a parting gift to Leslie. We have just another week of promotion, and next Wednesday we're going to be doing the launch, or soft launch, of the eRada audiobook. I'm going to ask if you do go out and you do purchase any format of eRada's book, right, to send a snapshot. It has to be dated today or later. Today or later. Send a snapshot to me. Next Wednesday, when we do the live, we will do a raffle. One person will get a $25 gift card from Guiding Brilliant Writers on behalf of Leslie Flowers. Again, the purchase has to be screenshotted this date till next Wednesday.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. You're very welcome.
Yeah, that's
And with
great.
that,
Thank you.
Aaron, we have a few minutes so you could take us out. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for giving your time. Thank you for opening your mind. And thank you for allowing your heart to travel with us on this journey tonight.
Thank you.
When we travel a journey, it's more fun to travel it with people. It's not as much fun to travel it alone. And we will travel journeys with each other and you for a very, very long time to come. Hi and bye, Donald Baker.
Free your mind and open your heart, loosen control and embrace.
standing at hell's gate. Look back and you will see there is someone waiting for you, he, she, or me. Free your mind and open your heart, loosen control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free to dream. These brambles and thorns that impede the path to our greatest selves, but the test to our willingness and strength to find our greatest wealth. Free your mind and open your heart, loosen control. To dream, come dream with me. Come dream with me. Come dream. Come